Meaningful, but just not that meaningful. A day in Westminster we had expected to have held the highest significance for the country's future. But now, this place has voted to change that, meaning that we're not that much closer to a Brexit resolution.
We're very stuck. The referendum was now 3¼ years ago. We're still in the European Union and no clear path to getting out, to Brexit. And you may say the European issue is much older than that because it's broken so many prime ministers.
MPs have approved the Letwin amendment, put forward by former Conservative Oliver Letwin. It makes a critical modification to Boris Johnson's motion, which approves his revised Brexit deal. It says rather than approving the deal, the Commons has considered the matter but withholds approval unless and until implementing legislation is passed. In the broadest terms, this means that legally the Prime Minister's deal hasn't been approved by Parliament. This is crucial because it means then another piece of legislation comes into effect, the provisions of the Benn Act, passed in September. That says that by 11 o'clock tonight, given Boris Johnson has not got a Brexit deal approved by Parliament, he must send a letter to the EU seeking an extension, even if it's pretty clear he doesn't actually want it. So perhaps as early as Monday we can expect some kind of response from the EU. The government also want Monday to be a defining day, with the meaningful vote on his Brexit deal originally intended for today. But many people believe the Speaker will rule it out of order. And he could be facing a court challenge if he hasn't made a proper request for an extension. But in all of this, it's easy to forget that election. Thursday is the last day Parliament can be dissolved for a November election.
So there is a majority in the House of Commons for delaying Britain's exit date from the European Union. There's probably a majority in the House of Commons for Boris Johnson's revised Brexit deal. Maybe not a majority in the Commons for a second referendum. Now, when Parliament can't agree with itself or the government, then normally there's a general election. But it's not at all clear if at the moment there are the numbers for that.
But everything that happens next depends on what Europe decides on an extension.
It's not entirely clear that they've made up their mind about the kind of extension that they would be prepared to offer. A short extension would be the easiest. It would help them ensure that Brexit is out of the way when the new Commission comes into place in the beginning of December. But equally, they could be looking at a longer extension. But everything depends a little bit on the mood in Parliament.
What could have been the most significant day in Brexit since the referendum has now turned into a waiting game to find out what Brussels says about an extension. Sam Coates, Sky News.